This is about to the day, the 10-year anniversary of when I was elected to the United States Senate. And I came here to work on a lot of issues, but this was definitely one of them. I have this strange two thoughts about college sports. One is it's one of the best parts of American culture. I literally would not be sitting here today if it wasn't for the opportunities that were afforded me as a football player in high school and college. It is one of the bright lights at a time when America has so many forces dividing us that unifies us in ways that I think is very special. The challenge I found 10 years ago is in the first Commerce Committee hearing on this, I was very angry because I also knew the dark side of college sports and knew too many of my friends whose bodies were beaten and battered, who were going in their own pocket years later to try to pay for spinal cord injuries or shoulders, knees, and God forbid, I saw the challenges with CTE. Guys who were coming out of ball who had head injuries, depression, and so many other symptoms that we now know are symptoms of CTE, but nobody there to help them or support them. More than this, I just couldn't understand how we could have a system that guys who spent over 80 hours, 70 hours, 60 hours playing the sport who didn't graduate on time were going in their own pocket after their football career was over just to pay for the last few credits that they had. I couldn't understand how low-income kids who got a chance to play ball didn't have the money to even, get their parents to come see them play while the jersey with their names on it were being sold in student bookstores for more money than one of their parents made in a full day's labor. And what frustrated me was at that time, the NCAA was giving lip service to a lot of the changes, but seemed to only move when they got embarrassed. Whether it was being embarrassed like Shabazz Napier saying I couldn't afford to eat when he won the NCAA championship, or the embarrassment of showing the differential treatment of women versus men in NCAA tournaments. I am so glad that this group is here now because the folks here before us have been extraordinary in their leadership. I cannot thank President Baker enough for being willing to work with me and my team, for his what I think has been very progressive leadership in bringing about change. Commissioner Petiti, you have been a great partner in trying to develop something that could be bipartisan and actually can work to put some common sense guardrails. And Brother Huma, we've been working on this since you and I both had hair. And it is, I cannot tell you how grateful I am for your leadership and advocacy in fighting for what most people who watch sports think should be the norm, that the men and women who are contributing most of this $15 billion industry should, at the very least, have some basic standards for health, safety, and justice when it comes to these issues. And so I'm grateful to be here with folks who are really constructive in trying to find a way, number one, to preserve college sports, which is now being threatened, in my opinion, by a lot of the Wild Wild West, which has been mentioned. And I think, Mr. Huma, you're correct. There's so much bipartisan place to land on this. While the controversial stuff we could leave aside if we could just find a pathway forward in keeping athletes centered and first. So I'm extraordinarily encouraged by the work of Senator Blumenthal, Senator Moran, the discussion document that we put out. The feedback has been so great. There is so much accord. We've got to move forward. And to Senator Kennedy's point, not to have any unintended consequences, to do it with a light touch, but again, protect college athletes. Just very quickly, I'd really like to turn to the one college athlete that's actually here, Ms. Thomas. It's extraordinary that you are here, and I can't thank you enough for being here. You are playing and have played at a level that's just great. I don't think folks understand the physical demands and the mental demands. You've seen very personally the challenges that a lot of folks don't understand what athletes go through while trying to balance difficult academic schedules. And I guess I just would love to, in the last seconds I have, why do you think it's so important that whatever we do, we prioritize the health, safety, mental health well-being of college athletes, teammates, and others? Can you just express the urgency of the moment?
Yes, being a student athlete is super difficult. Hours upon hours, obviously you're a student too, and that's a lot already, and then you're putting on that. I mean, we practice every single day. We're doing something whether it's conditioning or practice or training or letting our trainers work on our bodies for us. It's a lot. And the traveling on top of that is a lot, and competing in our sport. So everything outside of that that's extra needs to be so that it's taken care of us. I'm obviously not a student athlete anymore, technically, but for all of my former teammates and all of the student athletes that are going to come after me, I want the very best for them. I know how hard it is to be successful as a student athlete, and we just need to make sure that we're doing the best for them.
Thank you. And again, Tony Ramogi, Governor, I'm so grateful for the work we're doing. I really think we can get someplace for this. I just want to say for the record, Notre Dame has been one of the best partners that we've had. It's extraordinary and honorable in the way you're doing it. And that's the only reason why in this hearing I am restraining from talking about my best career football game when Notre Dame was ranked #1 and we went into South Bend, Indiana, and upset I think Sports Illustrated called it the greatest upset in all of college sports that year. All sports except for when Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson. But I'm not going to talk about that at all out of respect for your institution and gratitude for your partnership.
Thank you for your restraint.
Thank you very much.